Okay, so I'm online. um, I'm not so technical. So if people are online and watching and can see me, if you can let me know by writing in the chat box, that would be awesome and helpful. I'm trying to watch on another screen as well just to see if it is working. But let's see what we've got. Awesome. Can anybody hear me? Just type into the comment box below. Oh, okay. Yes, you can hear me. Although everybody else I see is not writing in the comment box. Not helpful men online. Just kidding. So we're gonna get started pretty soon. I hope everyone's excited. I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I obviously want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the information that you need and hopefully oh yay, perfect. Okay. I can't see you just slideshow. Perfect. Okay. You can hear me. Awesome. Thank you everyone who just responded to that. That's perfect. I forgot there's a little bit of a delay here. So, it's all good. What was I gonna say? Yeah, just so you guys know, I'm not the most technical person, so sometimes the slides may not go with my voice. There's a lot for me to manage here right now. I'm really good at being a wing girl and giving advice to men on what women want. So, if text stuff slags or lags, don't go off the webinar because of that, because I'm delivering really awesome, actionable information that you can use. And hopefully, you found the first two videos that I sent over to you helpful and you've been putting them into practice like I instructed. The videos I created on how and where to meet women and how to get over approach anxiety. So, again, hold tight. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. I just want to make sure that everybody gets online. Most of them may not, most of you guys may not sign into the comment box section, but I'm going to be having a live Q&A at the very end of this webinar where I'm going to stay on for a very long time until either my voice goes away or I get too tired to answer all of your burning questions. So eventually, if you do want to ask a question, I would sign in to the comment section below this video so that you can ask me a question and I will give you my answer. But again, that's at the very end of this webinar. But hold tight and we'll get started in a couple of minutes. If for some reason, sorry, I'm going back on. If for some reason you can't see this page, just refresh the page and then press play, I think, and then it will go. We're trying something new going through YouTube and Google Hangouts to do this. But yeah, if you can't see it, refresh the page. And if you really still can't see it, then I'll I don't know, have your first child. I don't know. I can make it up to you in some way, but most likely everybody can see it if you refresh the page. So that'll be awesome. Again, sign up to leave comments. You can sign in using chat roll, Facebook, Twitter, just as a guest. Nobody has to see your name. But I get that a whole bunch of you don't want people to see you. That's totally fine. You can be anonymous and just listen to the information that I have to present. But there are a couple of thousand people, a couple of 2,000 plus people who have signed up for this webinar. So I'm expecting a lot of people. So if there's any issues because of that, it's not my fault. And I'm glad that you got here early so that you can definitely see what I'm about to share. I wonder if I can send you messages in the chat. Just setting everything up for you. Again, for anybody who's just coming on now, I'm going to get started in about a minute. I'm really excited to have all of you here. I think it's awesome that you are joining me for it's kind of my first webinar. I kind of lied before. I have done one of these before. But this is kind of my first new webinar in this format. Again, I'm not super technical, learning to be technical every single day. But if something doesn't match up, just please pay attention to my voice. And I'm going to give you all the information that I promised, all the information that you need. I'm here to help you. That's the reason that I'm here. So I'm going to give it my all, do my best. And at the very end of the webinar, please be sure to stick around because I'm going to do a live Q&A where if you send me a question, I will answer your question. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give you the information that you need and want. And I will try to do my best. So it's 6:00. I am a person who likes to be on time. So, oh, wow. Okay. So it says 250 online. So it's full. So there's a lot of people. So anybody who's coming on now that can't sign in to make a comment, I'm sorry. There, is a max of 250 people and we've just reached it now. And thanks for all your nice comments. You guys are so nice. I don't want to get too distracted with reading all the comments about how awesome I am. So let's get started. So in this webinar, you're going to learn the 3 secrets to fascinate every woman you meet, no matter who you are or what you look like. That's going to be pretty awesome, right? Okay, so the 3 secrets to fascinate every woman you meet, no matter who you are or what you look like. I do want to just be a little bit transparent for a second. Again, this is one of my first webinars. So I've actually asked for some assistance in writing a script for me. I gave them all the information. I put my heart into everything that was said, but they helped me out with putting together a script. So sometimes if I trip over my words or if it sounds like I'm reading, I am, just so that I don't miss out on anything. So, okay, again, let's go. So my goal for today is if you stay until the end of the webinar, you're going to walk away with a totally new understanding of what you need to do and the changes you'll need to make in your life to become irresistible to the women you want in your life. These aren't big changes. I'm not going to ask you to, become transgendered or like cut off your penis. These aren't huge changes. I'm going to just help you make little alterations and tweaks so that you can get everything that you want. And that's all that it really does need. It needs little tweaks, little changes, but you have to be able to see and understand those changes first. So I hope that sounds good. And I hope you're excited because I totally am. Okay. And also, if you stay around until the end, I am going to hook you up with the recording of this webinar so you can listen back whenever you want. So if you're listening now, and you're getting fidgety, you're getting antsy, you're getting hungry, wherever you are in the world, you have to go to bed, you're not able to watch till the end, that's totally fine. I'm going to send you a recording just for being on this call. I'm not going to send it to anybody else who comes to my website, is on my list, just the people who have signed up for this call. But again, I'm not saying like turn this off right now. Definitely stay around, pay attention, and watch till the very end. And then at the very end, I'm going to do something I've never done before, so make sure you stick around. In order for me to deliver the information that I need to, I need you to pay attention. So turn off your Facebook, your emails, your Skype, your phone. I know it's fun to fidget and get distracted, but I really want you to pay attention to everything that I'm saying. So I need to close all that down right now, close down all those tabs, put your phone away because I need your attention. And if you're not paying attention, there's no way I can help you and there's no way that you can reach your goals. So I'm going to introduce myself. I know that most of you know who I am. My name is Marni, and I've been giving men the inside scoop of what's inside a woman's mind and how to become the man women want for over a decade now. How have I been able to do this so successfully for the past 11 years? Well, for starters, believe it or not, I have breasts, which means I'm a woman. So I have personal firsthand experiences with men and their attempts to attract me, date me, or get me into bed. I know exactly what goes on inside a woman's mind when men approach them, what women find irresistibly sexy in one guy over another, and the type of things guys do that make us girls fight each other over them because I've experienced it for myself firsthand. I've been on the receiving end. So I know what goes on inside my mind. I know the things I think, I feel, the things that you never get to hear or get access to, the things that frustrate you and confuse you. I have all of that up in my head. And now, over the past 11 years, I've interviewed over 5,000 women about exactly the same thing, trying to dig deeper, find out that information so that I can give you the information you need to confidently move forward and get everything you want with women without being a douchebag or an asshole. So I was voted the number one wing girl in the world. I was awarded greatest dating vlog. I've been featured in and on Dr. Drew, CNN.com, the Huffington Post, Penthouse. I wasn't naked in Penthouse, but they actually wrote an article on me, which I think is even better. Men's Health, ABC Radio, The Jeff Probst Show, Loveline, and many, many more. I could go on for a while, but I know that you get the picture. And I know that you're here for results. You're not here to hear about how awesome I am and the things that I've achieved. So I want to get started right now with giving you actionable information that you can use as soon as we finish this. Okay. So in my life, I've done a lot of things right and I've done a lot of things wrong. A lot of things wrong. I've screwed up over and over and over and over again. And my career as a wing girl, after being a wing girl for 11 plus years, there are things that I have discovered from, again, interviewing thousands of women, from myself being a woman, from talking to so many different experts, different gurus, different specialists, everybody. I have discovered some really interesting things and I wanted to share them with you. So women speak a different language that most men cannot comprehend. Some men can. I have met a lot of men who can, and they have to do a lot of work to be able to understand and comprehend women. And the reason isn't that you're an idiot or you're stupid or men are dumb or women are crazy. It really is that we are just completely different. Women speak from their emotions. The emotions override everything. And I know as a man, you can't even fathom that. You can't understand it because you are not ruled by your emotions, your hormones, all of these things that go on inside women every single day. You literally do not have that experience within your brain, your body, your blood. You don't have those things going on. So we women speak a completely secret language from you, a much more subtle language. Sometimes I think actually a much more helpful language. But it's definitely a secret language that most men can't comprehend. The other thing that I discovered is that there is a cipher, a secret key to the minds of women. And the third thing that I learned is any man will instantly be 10 times more attractive when they discover the cipher, and women won't even know why they're more attractive. So really what I'm trying to say here is that men who have a basic understanding of how women work, what their secret language is all about. Doesn't mean you have to become a woman and start speaking that language yourself, but really understanding at the core where women are coming from with their words, with their language, with their action. If you can understand that, you can rule women. And that is what truly successful men who are successful with women, what they're able to do. They have this cipher. They're able to understand this secret language of women. So I'm about to give you this cipher. And I do this quite often, every single day. That's what my whole business is about. The Wing Girl Method is all about giving you access to this cipher. So I discovered this cipher the hard way. I talked to you about it before, about all the wrong things that I've done, all the right things that I've done. So just so that you know a little bit about my history, I discovered everything the hard way, where it requires a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of pain, a lot of confusion. But on this webinar tonight, I'm going to get you to cheat and get you to discover the easy way to realize all this stuff. So here's the hard way. I'm going to give you a little background on myself. So when I was 20, I had a stroke. I don't know if most of you know that. I talk about it all the time. It's in my book, Get Insider. I talk about it on my podcast, Ask Women. But at 20, I had a stroke. And the reason I had a stroke was because I used to, and I still do sometimes, suffer from extreme social anxiety. People made me nervous. I was insecure. I doubted myself. I never felt that I was good enough. And the truth is that most of that came from my relationships with women and with other girls. I'm not a lesbian. Well, I could be sometimes, but I'm not a lesbian overall. But I always put women on pedestals, especially like pretty popular women. In my mind, they were better than me. I always wanted to say the right thing about them, right thing to them in front of them. I always wanted to sound cool. But really, what ended up happening was I became a pleasing uh, shell of a human being around them. I never spoke my mind. I never made decisions. I was always, the girl who kind of hung out with pretty popular people, but was never really their friend. I was around and they sort of took me under their wing because I was like this cute little girl who made jokes sometimes, but I was never one of them. I wasn't really one of their friends. And that coupled with, like some other things as well that had to do with social anxiety and my interactions with other people. And overall, not living my life the way that I wanted to and being the person that I wanted to be with women and with people, that led to me having a stroke at the age of 20. And I had a horrible time after that. I had about a year where I was completely pulled back from society. I didn't want to go out. My half of my body didn't work the way it worked before. Um, I limped. I couldn't understand people and they couldn't understand me because the things that I thought were coming out of my mouth were not the things that I was actually saying. So I was forced to relearn how to talk, how to move, how to walk. But after 1 year, I started feeling better. I was starting to become myself again, and I made this big promise to myself that I was not going to be that person that I was before. I was gonna speak my mind, make decisions. I was going to not be ruled by pretty popular girls because they're just pretty and popular. There's nothing else to them. I'm awesome. Some of them were awesome too, but more importantly, I had to start taking care of myself and start being that woman that I saw inside of my head. So every time that I would have an interaction with a pretty girl, I would think to myself, "Oh, I could have said this. I could have said that. I could have, should have, done all of these things." And I made the promise to myself that moving forward, I was going to do what it took to be able to not have the shoulda, coulda, woulda, but to actually do it the first time around. And so I developed this uh, one little trick for myself. And some of you have seen it before. I have a rubber band, which is now a hair elastic that's on my wrist. And one of the first things and exercises that I did in this process was I said to myself, okay, when I have a feeling of nervousness, when I have a doubt about myself, about something that I want to do, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, snap. I'm snapping it right now. Snap my rubber band, and then I'm going to go to do it. Whether it's talking to a pretty girl, saying something I really want, which was very hard for me to do, introducing myself, whatever it was that I wanted to do, I would just do that and I would do it. And that was a really, really helpful tool for me. But it was hard to do that at first. It was very challenging for me. The other thing was that since starting my business, I have also coached, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands of men for 10 plus years. I've had thousands of private sessions. I do email coaching with thousands of people from all around the world. I've talked to thousands of women. I have, you know, researched everything, put in countless hours. Anyway, I'm consumed with all of this information. But from the past experience of me having a stroke, learning to really own who I was and move forward in the world, collecting all of these tools and skill sets about personal interactions and making people like you more and want you more, and then interviewing all of these women, I have collected and put together and discovered the most direct blueprint for attracting a woman, any woman. And I stand by the fact that it is any woman, not just like some women, some people who are like fives or fours, which I hate numbers, but like any woman. I have put together that blueprint for you. So I'm going to ask you now, do you want the easy way that turns you into the ultra attractive version of yourself in a few short weeks, not years and decades? And I'm pretty sure that you do. So, how will you feel about yourself in a few weeks when you're walking down the street, you see that gorgeous girl and feel no fear, and no hesitation. You feel extreme confidence. You know your self-worth. You feel awesome about yourself. And how will that feel to strike up a conversation right away with her? I guarantee it will feel absolutely amazing. So in the past decade, I've helped hundreds of thousands of men of all ages find girlfriends and wives using these three same secrets, which actually become principles. Principles that I want you to own and I want you to completely understand. And that's what I'm going to go over with you today. We're going to learn the core principles based in three secrets that I want to reveal to you. So here are the three secrets. Okay, secret number one. Secretly, women have no idea what they really want. They don't. They absolutely don't. Secret number two is secretly beautiful women secretly wish you could come over and talk to them if you only had the balls. And secret number three is secretly you don't need a fancy car, chiseled jawline, and six-pack abs to attract women. Okay, so let's go over secret number one because this is the big meat and chunk of this presentation. Number one, women have no idea what they really want. Women are absolutely clueless about what they want. They have an idea and they have the ideal that they're aiming for. But when it comes down to what they really want, they have no freaking clue what they really want. Some women do. Some women have worked really hard to figure out what they want. But most often, their words don't actually match up with what they're attracted to, what they want, what they desire. Even I sometimes have a hard time laying out there for a man in man speak about what I want. Because as a woman, if I were to talk to another woman, I would intuitively know what that woman needs and wants, but it's really hard to relay that information to men. But at the core, women really have no idea what they really want. So when you hear a woman say they want a funny guy, what they really mean is not, I want a comedian who makes me laugh all the time, constantly, 100% of the time. That is not what they want. When they say they want a funny guy, they mean they want a guy who loves life, who's positive, who's playful, who can tease them, who can laugh at himself, a man who has a good sense of humor, who isn't so focused on all the serious things in life, takes everything so seriously, Mr. Negative. That's what they're saying. When they say I want a guy who makes me laugh or I want a funny guy, what they're really meaning is I want a man who knows how to enjoy life, be playful, and laugh about himself, but ultimately have a positive outlook. When you hear a woman say, I want a bad boy or I like bad boys, they're not really saying that they like bad boys. They're not saying they like jerks who treat them like shit. They're not saying they want a guy to avoid them, disappear on them, make them feel horrible about themselves, degrade them, treat them like objects. Women don't go into a scenario saying to their girlfriends, I can't wait till somebody treats me like shit. Like it's my dream to be with an asshole. Like, why can't I have that jerk? She has him. What am I doing wrong that I can't get him? Women aren't like that. They do not want that. What they want when they say that they want a bad boy, they want somebody who excites them, who excites themselves, who has passion, who, and I know that these things are difficult to do all the time. It's not saying that you have to be Mr. Perfection all the time, but they want you to have that element, especially in the very beginning. They want the edge. And the edge doesn't mean that you have to like have skid marks on your arm from doing heroin. The edge can be the fact that you say what you want out loud and are not afraid to say it, that you can make decisions without fearing that she's not going to like your decision. That's the edge that she's talking about, not the edge of I'm an asshole and I'm going to treat you like shit. So when women say they want a smart guy, what they really mean is I want a guy who knows about things, who's interested in me, interested in the world, a guy who has a head on his shoulders, a guy who can do research to find out how to do things the same way I can by going to YouTube and watching a video and then doing it. They're not saying that they want, Freud or oh my God, I can't even think of the guy right now who's in the wheelchair, who can't talk, whatever his name is. They don't want the absolute intellect. They're saying that they want a guy who can think for himself, has a brain, is open to a debate, can make decisions, can act on those decisions and opinions. That's what they mean when they say they want a smart guy. And the most interesting one that gets so many of you so frustrated is when women say they want a nice guy. And I know a lot of you are going to like, oh, screw that. Women don't want a nice guy. They say they want a nice guy, but they don't want a nice guy. They don't really want a nice guy. Women absolutely want to be with a nice, kind man. What they don't want and what they are really meaning sometimes when they say you're too nice is man up. You're being a wimp, and I don't want to be with you because you're not doing any of the above things that I said before. You're not being playful. You're not living life. You're not living your passions. You're not having a bit of an edge. You're not making decisions. You're not taking the lead. You're not afraid to make the wrong choice around them. That's being a wimp. And I have my air quotes because that's really what is being said when women call you nice. But when they say they want a nice guy, they're being sincere about it. My husband happens to be the nicest guy in the entire world, the sweetest guy in the entire world. People call him a teddy bear, but he has a backbone. He won't let me walk all over him, and he has never let me walk all over him. He has always stated his opinion. He is always making decisions. He's always taking the lead. He's not letting me walk all over him, being a complacent wimp that I would never have been attracted to. All right. Okay. So here's a truth. The truth is, you can be their dream guy without ever being someone you're not or doing anything that's not you. You just have to learn how to express your real personality. So, exactly like what I said in the beginning about changing some things, what I help guys do and what I've helped lots of guys do it, and I've also helped myself do this, is I've helped wipe clean all of the clutter that most people tend to pile on top of themselves with false beliefs, negative thoughts, discomfort, insecurity, covering up who they really are. I help them clean all that bullshit away so that they can become their most clear, confident, authentic selves. And that's what women are attracted to. When there isn't like this gray area around you, when they're very clear on who you are and you're very clear on who you are, because then you can make decisions and take action from that place. And that is so freaking sexy. It's like ridiculously sexy. I was watching a TV show the other night, and I think I was watching Suits or something like that. I watch cheesy TV. You know that already. But I was watching, again, I think it was Suits. And there's this guy who was not a regular on the show, but he was like, I don't know, maybe 5'6" or 5'7", kind of bald. And he just like he just his character just owned who he was. He just like said what he meant. He wasn't afraid of what he was saying. He didn't do it as an asshole. He wasn't trying to be an aggressive, dominant jerk, but he was being very clear on what he wanted and who he was. And I couldn't help but actually like lean into the TV and be mesmerized by him. And that's the first step. That's the first thing that you want from a woman. You want her to perk up and pay attention to you and realize that you're kind of a serious person, a person she should be paying attention to, not because you're serious and like you don't have a smile on your face, but because you're somebody that like deserves attention. You're somebody who values himself, who believes that they're freaking awesome because you are. You just got to clear away all this bullshit that's covering all of it up. So all of the excuses, all of the things that you tell yourself that are a waste of time, absolute waste of time, you have to clear those things away. Oh, what's going on? Oh, no, now I can get to the next slide. See, told you, technical. Okay, so I want to tell you a story that goes hand in hand with our secret number one, which is women have no idea what they really want. And this was to help trigger me to remember the story. But this is a story about my friend Jessica. So I think I actually have an interview with her in What's Inside a Woman's Mind. But she is my cute blonde friend who works in the music industry, gets hit on all the time by musicians and really interesting, wealthy people who, yeah, anyway, that's the story. She's very cute. Anyway, she's and a lot of guys like her. And she's not like a tall model, but she's like a cute little adorable girl with a great personality. And we were hanging out one night, and I've told the story before, but we were hanging out and somehow it came up, the conversation of like, would she date a guy that was unemployed? And she said, 100% no. So I started throwing different scenarios at her about, well, what if he was, unemployed for right now? He quit his huge job where he's making tons of money, has lots of money saved up, but he is now focusing on being an entrepreneur and starting this tech. What I gave her tons of different scenarios about ways that somebody could potentially be unemployed, and she said, "Not a chance would I date an unemployed person. I've done it before. It's not for me. It is not for me or what I want. I would never be attracted to somebody who was unemployed." And so I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I let her win that argument because I was like, that's great. You have a strong value and that's your boundary. That's your red flag where you know not to be with somebody who's unemployed. Okay. Okay. Cut to a couple of weeks later. We're out at a bar. We're not, we haven't drank that much. So we're not like drunk at this bar. But we're out at a bar. We're hanging out. There's a few more girls there. We're having a fun girls' night, having a blast. She and the rest of Jessica and the rest of the group are being chatted up by a couple of guys. This one guy in particular, I could tell that she was totally, I'm going to say smitten. I sound like a 6-year-old, but like she was smitten with him. She was batting her eyelashes, leaning in, trying to show her boobs, trying to look dainty. She was laughing at all of his jokes, even though they really weren't that funny, but she was like laughing extra hard at him. And he was paying attention to her as well as the rest of the group. And at some point, she excused herself, said, I have to go to the bathroom. And then when she was gone, I said to him, because he hadn't said what he did for a living yet, which I thought was a great thing that he didn't lead off the conversation talking about what he did for a living. I don't even know what he did for a living, but still, that wasn't even part of the conversation. I liked that. And I said to him, I want to do an experiment at some time. Can you please slip in that you don't have a job right now? Like paint a flowery picture around it. And I gave him a line to say and a way to present the fact that he didn't have a job right now. And he said, "Oh, okay." But I'm like, into her. Is that going to scare her off? And I was like, well, let's just see. You can say afterwards that it was me who said it to you, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay, well, I'll try it. So she comes back from the bathroom and they start chatting and I end up going and doing other things, but I'm keeping an eye on them. Then they're talking for like half an hour and he looks over at me and he like gives me the thumbs up, a little wink as if he's, made that statement. And she continues talking to him. So another half an hour goes by. She's still flirting with him and talking with him. And then she starts making out with him. And then she ended up dating him for 3 weeks afterwards. And I found out afterwards that, he revealed to her that I had said, just tell her you're unemployed. But he hadn't told her that until a week after they were dating. So that just proves that sometimes women do not know what they want, even if they say, I don't know what is the word I was going to use. Emphatic. I'm not even trying to use a big word, but even if they say wholeheartedly, 100%, without a doubt, I do not want to be with a guy who is X, Y, and Z. There is always an exception to the rule, and they will do it because they don't know what they actually want. In her mind and in her head, she didn't want to be with somebody that's unemployed. In my mind and in my head, I may not want to be with somebody who is 5'5". I may not want to be with somebody who is of a different religion than I am. There's a whole bunch of ideals in our minds that we think we won't be attracted to or think we won't allow into our lives. So, sometimes women don't actually know what they want. And I hope that story perfectly shows that women don't always know what they want, which is a huge secret and a huge principle for you to know moving forward, is to remember that women don't always know what they want until you tell them what they want. And I'm not like condoning rape or anything, but you get what I'm saying, that don't let a woman's words scare you off from going after what you want. And that is the core principle to remember, that you have to stick to what you want. You have to figure out what you want first and then go after it. Don't let women tell you what you can have and can't have. I said a secret number 2. The next secret is beautiful women secretly wish you would come over and talk to them if only you had the balls. So a couple of weeks ago on our podcast, we had this model on the show. We have a lot of models on our podcast all the time. We have Playboy bunnies and models and actresses and like really pretty hot girls. And I will say that most of them say exactly the same thing. But this model was like, she was just fed up with what I'm about to tell you. So she was saying that she never gets approached by good guys. And she tends to be approached by aggressive, dominant assholes who want to use her as arm candy. And listen, I will say that there may have been a little bit of jadedness from her where she was just like fed up and angry. And I'm sure there are some great guys that do approach her, but most often, really solid, awesome guys do not approach her because they may not have the confidence to approach a beautiful woman like that. Thinking, oh, she's taken or she's not available or I'm out of or she's out of my league, whatever the excuses are that float around in your mind. And so then she's left with this other pool of jerks to who will approach her because they don't care the same way. They're not as affected and they don't have those beliefs floating around in their head. A couple of years ago, actually, I know 5, I was working with Jennifer Love Hewitt, developing a reality show with her that obviously never became anything. But I got to become pretty close with her, and she revealed a lot of information today, which I'm obviously not going to reveal right now. But a couple of the things that she did say really stuck out with me. And since talking with her, I found that these statements are very common for really beautiful women. And she's also a celebrity. So that's like, a double whammy for her and for guys. But she said to me, if I ever want to be alone and I don't want people to look at me or talk to me, I go out in public. And she said the only people who happen to strike up conversations with her are just like, again, arrogant assholes. And so she was saying she never gets approached. Men don't flirt with her, men don't ask her out on dates. And because of that, in her more insecure days, it made her cling on to the men that actually would approach her, and they weren't the right men that were approaching her. She would sit back and like let men come to her as opposed to going after what she wants, which I don't want for you, I don't want for her, I don't want for anybody. But what tended to happen was she would end up being with these guys who would just like overrule her life and not treat her the way that she deserved. And she would go on and on and on about the fact that guys literally would never approach her. They would never come up to her. They would never flirt with her. It's not even like these nice guys that she didn't even see coming up because she wasn't into them. Like literally, guys would not approach her. Some of the most beautiful women in the world are the most unapproached women in the world, which I found really interesting. So I want you to take the core principle from that secret. And what I want you to do with it is understand that women want to be approached. They want to be approached by a confident man who has a strong sense of worth and believes in himself. But that's who they want to be approached by. But they are very open to being approached. So secret number 3. I'm trying to see. Sorry, I'm reading your comments. I'm getting so distracted by it, but I'll read those ones afterwards. So secret number 3, you don't need a fancy car, a chiseled jawline, and 6-pack abs to attract a woman. Okay, so you don't. You absolutely do not. What you need to be is a man of integrity, a man that can lead, a man that's confident in himself, not confident all the time, but a man who owns who he is. Just like I talked about at the beginning of this webinar, what I learned to become, what I learned to do. I learned to speak my mind in a charismatic way where I wasn't disrespectful, arrogant, and overpowering. Women want a man who is confident in himself, who is calm, cool, and collected, who can be playful, who can be intelligent in any way that he wants to be intelligent. It may be intelligent about World of Warcraft, but she wants a well-rounded man, not well-rounded abs. That is a bonus sometimes, but that's not what you need in order to attract a woman. So I'll tell another story that happens to be about my friend Jessica. I have other friends, but she happens to have really interesting stories. So we were out at this bar, like lounge space, and there was this guy that was there that was like really super cute. Like he looked like an Abercrombie model. Like he could have been on a billboard on Sunset in Los Angeles. So he was very good looking. And she kept looking over at him and he kept looking over at her and smiling, and she was smiling back. And she turned to me and she said, I wish I could just go over and talk to him. Like, why isn't he coming over here? I really wish I could talk to him. I was like, oh, okay, well, go talk to him. And she wouldn't get off her butt and go do it. So I went up to him. I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, my friend wants to talk to you. And so after she got mad at me for doing that, she was very excited and she ended up going over and talked to him to talk to him. And she apparently had been giving me the help me eyes for like 20 minutes and I didn't see it because I was, in my own conversation. I had hooked her up. I didn't think I had to worry about her anymore. She was with Mr. Abercrombie model that she was so into and thought he was like super dreamy. And she finally came over to me and said, Marni, I was like giving you help me eyes forever to come over and help me. And you wouldn't come help me. I was like, what? Why? What is going on? What is the problem? Why don't you want to talk to him? You wanted to talk to him so badly. And she said, yes, he's good looking. Fine. He has a good body, but he's the most dull person I've ever met in my entire life. I was carrying the conversation. I was asking the questions. He wasn't doing anything. And even when he did say things, they weren't interesting. He wasn't listening to me. He wasn't carrying the conversation and he wasn't getting up to go away. So he was obviously into what was being said, but she kept saying, she's like, I wasn't into what was being said. It was horrible. Anyway, she finally broke away and said she had to go to the bathroom, but she had no intention of ever going back and talking to this guy. So yes, it is really nice, I'll say, to have abs of steel, to have a Lamborghini, to be a really good looking man. That's very nice. But that's not how women work. It's not what women want. You don't need to have those things. Being a man who has value in himself and understands that and realizes that, that is way more attractive than any of those other qualities. We had this woman on our podcast yesterday. Actually, you'll hear the episode come out in a few weeks. But she works at Equinox. And she was talking about like all these hot men that are around her all the time. And I started probing her and saying, like, does money matter to you? Do you date men who have money? And she said, you know what? I will be honest. For me, money means security. It means safety. It means maybe I don't have to work as hard. But she's like, I would never choose money over a quality man. She's like, if somebody happens to have money that I date, that's an awesome bonus. Just like anything else. If you happen to have money on top of having a great life and happiness, absolutely that is wonderful. And it's the same way for women. So to go over that secret, you do not have to have perfect jawline, chiseled abs, and an amazing car and like lots of money to get a woman. You can have an amazing woman by simply being an awesome man. I wanted to tell you a little student success story of mine. It's about this guy, Randy, who is actually one of my favorite clients that I've ever worked with. So Randy is a 35-year-old virgin. And I'm telling you these stories because I want to make a correlation between what I've just been sharing with you and this story. The correlation is that all that Randy needed to have success, even when he came to me, he was feeling doubt, he was insecure, he was awesome, but didn't realize it. But all he needed for that success was to understand these 3 secrets and at the core, understand that they're principles for life and a way of being. And these are the things that helped him. And I haven't told you the story yet, but his success came from there. But so Randy was a 35-year-old virgin. He was a refrigerator repairman, but he rode BMX bikes on the weekend. So he was like interesting and fun and had passions. He was a good guy, but he was really lonely because he never had the balls to go for what he wanted. When we first started working with each other, he would tell me countless stories about missed opportunity, about this girl that he didn't approach her, that girl that he didn't approach her, this girl that he was thinking of approaching and was planning it for 3 weeks of how to approach and how to talk to her. And after we worked with each other, he didn't have any of those fears with each other. Before working with me, he had tried PUA materials. He'd worked with male coaches. He read ebooks, and nothing seemed to work with him. But after he worked with me, he went on 4 dates with 4 awesome women in 2 weeks. And within 3 months, he met his current wife, who I have actually met as well. And she is awesome. And everything changed when he discovered this female mind cipher, which showed him exactly how to flick his attention switch on at will. Sorry, I'm reading my Skype message from somebody who just wrote to me who's helping me run this webinar. Okay, so everything changed for him. So he discovered this female mind cipher, and that helped him so much. And the female mind cipher, the deep understanding of women at the core, of understanding where women are coming from, what women say when they're saying something, how they feel, how they think. Like once he understood this, once he took in those key things about women and understood them and then believed them, everything changed for him. And of course, also I gave him different tools and skill sets and exercises and things to work on and practice and a lot more. But at the very core, the first initial step was understanding the three secrets that I just shared with you and moving forward from that place of belief and understanding as opposed to where he was before when he believed the opposite to all of those secrets. Okay, so I want to take a minute to recap everything I've just shared with you and show you that just by knowing these three secrets, you can transform your dating life. You can absolutely transform how women see you, how they think about you, what they want. So, to recap, I shared three secrets with you about how women work. And each of these secrets translate into a new core principle that is essential for you to own moving forward after this webinar. Oh, wait, I'm going to answer a question from Matt. How much time a week did he put into dating the 35-year-old virgin? Okay, so let me just go back to that for 1 second before I go back to the core principles. He did put a lot of time into it. We worked together extensively for I think a few weeks. And we were working every single day for half an hour a day. We worked on different tasks, on different exercises, on different ways of presenting himself. He did the work that he needed. It wasn't a lot of work. It was things that he could incorporate into his everyday life, that's how I like to do things. I don't want to take you out of your world, teach you something, and then put you back into this world where nothing that I've taught you applies. Everything I teach happens to work within your own universe. I sound so hippy dippy-ish, but you know what I'm saying. But he would give it at least half an hour to an hour every single day for 3 weeks, and it made incredible changes for him. But to go back, I wanted to recap each of these three secrets and how they translate into a new core principle that is essential for you to own moving forward after this webinar. So the secret number one is that women have no idea what they want. So the principle is that there's no point in listening to them. And I taught you what they really mean. The secret number two is that women want you to come over to them. They want to be approached. The principle is that women are open to being approached and they want you to seduce them. Secret number three is that looks and money don't mean shit if you're not a magnetic man at the core. Just like my friend Jessica, you can have everything going for you when it comes to the look department, to the money department. And I will be honest, yeah, it makes women give you a few more moments of their time. Absolutely. If I hear that a guy has a good job, is a doctor, has money, absolutely, it piques my attention. It does. It doesn't keep me around. If you are a dud, if you don't value yourself, if you're not respectful, if you're not a man of integrity, there is no way that I'm sticking around unless I'm a money hungry, money grabber. So, you can end up with somebody like that and have a nice life if both of you enjoy that together. But I will say that most women will not just be happy and satisfied with that. Oh, thanks. Guest number 3178 said I seem like a gracious person. I feel like I am. But save your questions till the very end, and I will make sure to answer them. Okay, so do you guys see how these three principles, let's call them this cipher, builds the foundation for becoming an attractive man? I've just given you the exact beliefs attractive men everywhere already have in their system. So men that I'm attracted to, the men that my girlfriends are attracted to, the men that have extreme success with women, all of them own these principles. It's the foundation of where they come from, of what they believe, of how they carry themselves moving forward. These are belief altering principles that will set the foundation in becoming an attractive man, a foundation that we're going to build together. In order to move forward, you need to understand the importance of what you've just learned. Now, I'm going to show you how to go about actually becoming a magnetic man at the core. But first, let me ask you a question. Over the past hour, or 43 minutes, sorry, I'm a fast talker, we have learned a lot. I think we've had a good time. We've enjoyed ourselves. At least I have, although I am in my office right now and I'm sweating like crazy because it's super hot in here. But overall, we've had an amazing time. But an hour or 45 minutes is not that long for me to have to really give you the help that you want. There's no way I can cover everything you need to know in just one webinar, even if we had all day. So I would like to invite you to work with me directly where I can actually help you achieve the goals that you want with women and help build further on this foundation that we've established today with the three secrets I've shared with you about women. And I want to keep the momentum going and actually show you how to use what I've shared with you today. So I wanted to know if you'd be interested in getting my personal help to achieve your unique goals. And I've actually seen some comments in here which are really helpful and very sweet and awesome. And I can see that people are already interested in that. I got some private emails as well. So thank you for sending those of people who want more information on this. And I know it's always awkward. Everybody's always trying to sell you something. And to be honest, I want to be completely transparent. I do have something to sell to you. If you guys are okay with that, then I will share it with you. And I want to take a couple of minutes just to tell you about it. But please remember, there's also the live Q&A at the very end. So stick through this part, listen to me, listen to what I have to say, and then I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. Okay, so before I tell you, I want to talk a little bit about disposable income. And I want you to understand this so you can see why it makes sense for you. You probably get a paycheck each month, and a percentage of that goes towards movies or going out or dating, things like that. And I'm not asking you to go into debt for this at all. What I'm asking you to do is take some of that disposable income that you'd normally spend on going to the movies and eating out and dating and hopefully eating out while dating. I don't know. And instead of blowing it on something that's temporarily enjoyable and then fades away, I'm going to ask you to make an investment in yourself. And this is something that I really believe in that I actually didn't used to believe in. I used to think that I could do everything by myself. I never wanted help. I never wanted to offer help to people, which is kind of strange because that's all I do now. But after I had my stroke, I started investing in myself with my time. And that was really nice and awesome. And it got me results that I wanted. But once I started really investing in myself by seeing other coaches, by going to therapy, by reading other books, like that's when I really started to see things change. So I'm a big fan of investing in yourself. And I'm going to ask you to make an investment in yourself right now because the money you put in this will pay off for you for the rest of your life. Because here's the fact of life. So you get your paycheck each month. And the cool thing about that is when you get that paycheck, you go out and you pay your bills, your living expenses, you have your disposable income left over. And that probably just disappears, right? So what happens the next month? You get paid again. Hopefully you get paid again. That money replenishes. The cool thing is that money always replenishes. And I guarantee that if you continue doing work on yourself, you will always have money being replenished over and over and over again. And every 2 weeks or every month, that money comes back again, right? So let me ask you a question. Does that happen with your time too? Like all those missed opportunities in your life when your fear held you back from going for what you wanted? All those women you should have said hello to, all those amazing friends you should have met, but your fear stopped you. Did you ever get that time back? I'm pretty sure that you don't and you didn't and you'll never will. So money replenishes every single month, but your time never comes back. So what I'm going to ask you to do is take an asset that's going to come back to you, take something that comes back to you every month and invest it in something that's going to save you a ton of time. You can go and try to learn it all on your own and not use me like I always ask that you do. I want you to use me. I'm your cheat sheet, your smart friend who does your homework for you so that you can breeze through without doing any of your work. What I'm trying to do here in this package that I'm going to show you is I'm just trying to save you a bunch of time so you never have to miss another opportunity with another amazing woman ever again. You can go out there, you can spend tons of money and make tons of mistakes like so many men out there do, but remember that time is never going to come back to you. The money is always going to come back to you, not the time. So with that said, let me show you what you and I can do together over the next few weeks. Okay. So you and I are going to hang out for 4 weeks together. We're going to get down and dirty, and you're going to get a take you by the hand web class where you're going to join me, not one of my wing girls, but me live each week for 4 weeks, where I go over my brand new spanking new material on how to become a magnetic man at your core so you become absolutely irresistible to women without even trying. And you are going to be able to use me, like literally use me. Pick my brain, ask me questions. I will give you my 10 plus years and my whatever number of years as a woman. I'm not going to reveal that. That is at your disposal. My interviews with 5,000 plus women, my conversations with other experts, my knowledge of all the books I've read. I'm going to give all that to you. And hopefully you can hear from this presentation. I don't half-ass anything. I give everybody my all to make sure they get what they need and what they want. So here's how the program is broken up. It's a 4-week web class. It's awesome. It's wonderful. Each week you are going to be going through a new module. So it's broken down into 4 weeks, 4 modules. The first week is the ultimate approach. Second, rapid attraction. Third, sexual. I'll go over all these. Third is sexual escalation mastery. And fourth is the ultimate date. And the total value of this on its own is close to $2,000, even more. If you were to do like in-person coaching, it would be like close to $10,000 to do it with me. But that's not even close to what I'm going to ask you to do or ask you to pay for this, because I have something very special for you, and you'll just stick around to hear about it. Okay. So here is how module 1 works. It's the ultimate approach. And what you and I are going to learn together is the exact mindset shift you need to make approaching effortless so you never hesitate again. So each week, not only are you going to get content and materials and videos and MP3s from me to give you this information, we're going to have an hour phone call every single week where we work on this together, so that if you have a sticking point when it comes to approaching, we're going to work through that. And at the end of that phone call, you are going to be over that approach anxiety that you have, because we are going to work through it and make sure that you will no longer hold back on who you want to approach. And I know that for me, that alone is worth like thousands of dollars, because in the past, when I used to be afraid of approaching people and going after what I want, if I could snap my fingers and have that go away, I worked through it. It took me a long time to work through it, but if I could have it go away, that would have been worth everything, because I wouldn't miss out on all of these amazing opportunities that I have now had moving forward, but that I missed out on in the past. So module 1 is also going to have when to approach and exactly what to say while staying authentic to yourself. Stupid, simple exercises that give you unstoppable confidence and fearlessness every single time. So you'll forget you ever knew what approach anxiety actually means. I promise you. 3 different approaching methods that work every time. You know I'm not into lines. You know I'm not into routines, but I do believe in training wheels, and I do believe in giving people tools that will help them practice and then create their own methods. And I've given 3 different approaching methods, and we can even create more together, more ones that are unique to you and what would work for you and feel comfortable for you. How to meet women in supermarkets, bookstores, coffee shops, gyms, which I know so many of you don't believe you meet women in gym, in the gym or in gyms, but you absolutely can. Shopping malls, anywhere, in your class, wherever there is a woman that you want to meet, you are going to be able to meet them and not go home thinking, oh, damn, I should have approached her. I should have talked to her. Real life examples of me are broken down in here. Approaches so you can get a deep understanding of how to do it yourself, and so much more. Module number 2, rapid attraction. And just in case you forget, please stick around to the end of this webinar, because there is a Q&A. I'm going to answer questions for as long as my voice will stay strong and I can answer questions. Okay, module 2, the amazing conversation formula conversation formula that works every time like clockwork. Guarantees you'll smoothly lead the conversation and never be awkward, so you can finally have fun talking to women. You will feel relaxed and comfortable when you talk to beautiful women, so you never have to worry about what to say next. Basically, I'm going to teach you how to properly use OSA and the second half of OSA, which is LCA, learn, confirm, appreciate. And I'm sure you've heard me talk about that before, but for anybody who hasn't, OSA is the Wing Girl Method's method for starting and creating attractive conversation that makes women want to open up to you and not see you as a friend, and puts you in the driver's seat so that you invite a woman into your world instead of trying to jump into hers, cluelessly jump into hers. Okay. Module 2 also has the addict maker method for creating deep connections with women you want to meet so you form lasting, sexy, positive impressions. It's going to teach you how to get a phone number in 30 seconds or less, how to text her to make her want to see you again, how to become a rejection proof. It's so much. Module 3, sexual escalation mastery. And I know that this is a huge thing for so many guys. It's how do you actually take an interaction and escalate it sexually without freaking her out, becoming creepy, or really just do it. Just what are the steps to do it, to make that interaction go to that level? So I'm going to give you simple exercises to feel that you are a sexy man when you finally see yourself this way. Women will look at you in a completely new way and guarantee you never end up in the friend zone. How to quickly start touching the women you meet without becoming awkward and creepy. That's really important because I've been touched by a lot of guys. And I will tell you one thing, that if you do not touch a woman correctly, you will freak her out instantly and she will never want to talk to you again. How to build sexual tension so women instinctively want to sleep with you, so that you are saying and showing her things about you before even having sex that will make her want to sleep with you and be with you. Guarantees you never end up in the friend zone. The 4 signals women send that let you know she wants to be kissed, and the 4 warnings that she shows you that she doesn't want to be. And again, so much more. And module 4 is about the ultimate date, how Navy SEALs build confidence. Imagine how women will look at you when you have elite warrior level swagger. How to arrange a date checklist, the how to date checklist, what to talk about on dates so you never have to worry about the dreaded awkward silence. Again, I'm not into lines, but I'm going to give you conversation pieces, things to say, things to bring up, just things for you to think about in conversation. What not to talk about on dates so you can avoid embarrassing yourself and ruining the mood. How to make her laugh, how to kiss her at the end of the night. I will tell you that is something as well. You can have the most amazing date with somebody, but if you do not kiss correctly, it's over. It is. I've heard that happen so many times. One of my girlfriends came back a few weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, I had so much fun with this guy on a date. And then he kissed me and it was like kissing a snake. He was like putting his tongue deep inside my throat, like trying to eat my dinner. It was disgusting. And I never want to see him again. And that sucks. It's horrible. Like, she may give him one more time, but like, he's not going to change his kissing style. So I'm going to teach you how to kiss correctly so that that doesn't happen to you and you're not Mr. Snake tongue thruster. How to text her to get her out on a second date if you choose that you want to see her again. What not to text her, when you should call and when you should text her, and so much more. Okay, so who has this program worked for and who has this material worked for? To be honest, it has worked for everybody. So let's say you're 19. Great. Works for you. 80. Works for you. It works for everybody and it works for all women. I'm not teaching techniques and routines and like, I don't even know PUA lingo, but like that isn't even in there. This is like, these are core principles. These are a foundation to work from so that anybody can use these principles and all women will find this attractive. So it's worked on divorced men getting back into dating, real 40-year-old virgins, introverted, shy, and awkward guys, short, overweight, balding guys. It's worked on all of them. So when I was putting this program together, I had 2 choices, and they were very hard choices. And I talked to my wing girls about this. But the first choice is I can make this program really cheap so that everybody can have it. I can charge like $97 and sell it to a ton of people, and everybody would have access to it. And that would be wonderful. It would be great. But to be honest, it would just be very taxing on me. I wouldn't be able to give you the attention that you need if I had 100 people joining a program with me. It just wouldn't happen. Even if I had like 10 wing girls working, it wouldn't happen and you wouldn't get what you wanted. So instead of selling tons of people something at a very low cost, what I decided to do was to actually serve you, because I want you to really be helped. I want you to get what you need and want in a short period of time. And I want you to feel like you have the attention that you deserve. So I decided to charge a lot more. That way it justifies me spending more time and more effort. And not even that. It's just like I can just have the energy to give to you. And I'm guessing for most of you, you'd rather have a little more time and attention from me. So that way we can make sure we really reach those goals that you've always wanted. Okay. So I just wanted to show you a few things that people have said about working with me over the years, about working with me one-on-one. And I get tons of these every single week. So I know that what I'm doing and what I'm offering to you is amazing and valuable. So again, what you're going to get all 4 modules. This thing has a total value of close to $2,000. What I'm going to offer you is close to $2,000. I'm also going to throw in a bonus of 30 days unlimited email access to me, Marni, which is usually $99 a month. But that usually only gives you 15 emails. This gives you unlimited email access to me. And this bonus is only for the first 30 people who sign up. And that's my cap. And I've seen now, I already have 9 people signed up for this. So there's 21 spots left and 21 spots left where they could get the 30 days unlimited email access to me. So that's the bonus for the first 30 people, for the 30 people who sign up for this program. Bonus number 2 is how to be a sexual leader, which is a video download. It's $97 in value. And it teaches you how to be a sexual leader, how to present yourself sexually to a woman so that you're not just saying, hi, I'm a friend and I want to braid your hair and go shopping with you and hold your purse for an hour. You're actually learning how to show them, like, if you're going to try on an outfit, I'm going to be in the change room with you, as you undress, trying it on, and then we're going to have sex in the change room. Like, I want to show you how to actually be a sexual leader. And this bonus is for the first 20 people who purchase this. And again, there's only 11 slots. Oh, sorry, only 10 slots left for that now. So hopefully you get to be one of those people. Overview again, what you're going to get. You get the 4-week intensive masterclass, $2,000 value. Bonus 1, email access to me directly, not my wing girls, me, $100 value. Bonus 2, how to be a sexual leader, close to $100. Total value, $2,200, basically, rounding up. If all this did was to help, tripping over my words, if all this did for you was to help you meet one amazing woman you truly connected with, that you could share your life with, that you had an amazing time with, every second you spent together would it be worth that much money? Would it be worth $2,200? I think so. There are so many millionaires all across the world who have everything they want in life except the woman they want. These are men who'd be happy to give up their wealth just to find this one thing. So, do you think that that is worth $2,200? What's one amazing experience with an amazing woman worth to you? An incredible girlfriend or wife? How much would you pay for it, right? I can't even spit out numbers because it's priceless. So how much would you pay to finally have the skills to win the heart of the woman of your dreams? Okay. So let's just go over this. As you can tell, the value is obviously there in this program. I know that you want what I'm offering, or else you wouldn't be on this webinar. And I know that I want to give you the information. And to be honest, you could spend a lot of time on your own figuring out all this information, using my resources, and definitely you would still come to the same place. It wouldn't happen as fast, but you would come to a place that's close to being as great as being a part of this program. But let's figure out a way to do this a lot faster for you, because I know that you don't have 20 years to do all of this stuff. And it would be a complete bargain at $2,000. And I'm going to be pricing this at almost $1,000 when I launch this to the public. So the public is everybody else who's not on this webinar. But because you are special and I want to say thank you for sticking through the webinar, I'm going to let you get in for almost $500, for $497. So all you have to do is go to thewinggirl.com/go. I know that there was a buy now button up before, so I'm sorry. a lot of people got to this before I even announced what the link is. So actually there's only 15 slots left now, but hopefully you go to thewinggirl.com/go and you sign up for this program so you and I can work together. And I just want to offer in one more bonus. It's a hidden interview of me coaching a one-on-one student on sexual escalation. I know this is a huge thing because of the survey that's what you wanted to hear. That's why I'm adding these in as bonuses. That's a $97 value. This bonus for the first 20 people only. There's only 4 of those people left because now 16 people have signed up for this program, which is awesome. All you got to do is to get started right now is for $497. You just click the sign up now below or go to thewinggirl.com/go and you can be a part of this first group to go through this program with me. And I'm super excited to work with you directly. So I've got 2 choices for you right now. Choice 1 is you can invest in this program, get started, and within 30 days, be on your way to living in a completely new reality that you never before thought was possible. Or you can get off this webinar and you can go to bed and then you can wake up tomorrow and you'll maybe watch this webinar over again. You'll probably be in the same place you are right now. But in 30 days from now, you'll still be exactly in the same place you are now. And you'll be there in 6 months and you'll be there in 12 months. Trust me, I have been in the exact same position as you. So how long will you let this continue? How long are you going to be annoyed that it's not working for you and you're not getting what you want? And just continue complaining about it and doing nothing about it. How long will you hold yourself back from the life you want? So you have 2 choices right now, and you have to decide which one sounds more exciting to you. So either decide right now to start meeting the women of your dreams or go back to doing exactly what you've been doing. I don't know about you, but I think that second option never makes me any happier. So I probably wouldn't do that. So you also have okay. Hold on. Okay. I wanted to tell you about my 60-day money back guarantee. Um, basically, if you don't like what I have to say, if it doesn't work for you, if you don't like me in the end, if you're thinking the information is garbage, which I don't think that you will, because other people have not, you don't have to pay for it. You can sign up today. You can go through the 4-week program. You can test it out for yourself for the 4 weeks. And then if you don't like it for any reason, I honestly don't care if it's day 59. Well, I will care. I'll be angry, but I'll still give you a refund right away. I'll give you all of your money back 100%. You could bleed me dry of information and I will give you your money back. If it's not working for you, I don't want to keep your money because that just hurts me. And I don't want that. So if you want to get started, go to thewinggirl.com/go right now and you can sign up or press the sign up button below. So the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out, even if it does just half of what I've claimed today on this webinar? So let me show you what to do next. Again, go to thewinggirl.com/go and sign up for this program. And what you're going to get going over it, 4-week intensive masterclass, bonus 1, 30 days of email access to me, bonus 2, a video on how to become a sexual leader, bonus 3, sexual escalation coaching. Total value is like $2,300. I think it's unbelievable value. So if you didn't sign up immediately, well, here are reasons to sign up. I'm trying to follow this slide. Sorry. So just imagine what your life will look like 60 days from now with this program and without the program. I want you to really picture, is it going to be exactly the same as it is right now? If you don't do anything, yes, absolutely. Is it going to change if you sign up for this program? Yes, absolutely. I'm giving you 100% risk-free guarantee. You're protected, 60-day unconditional money back guarantee. And right now you're getting more than half off and incredible bonuses for being on this call. So go to my website, sign up. I used to be in a very similar situation to you. I was a social train wreck after my stroke. I was scared and intimidated by beautiful women. And all I had to do to figure all this stuff out for myself, just so I could be a normal functioning member of society, I can show you how to shine a spotlight on the best parts of yourself so you become literally irresistible to women. If I can figure this stuff out, you can too. Okay. So look, there's this is the way it is. People in life, they can have one of two things. They can have results or they can have excuses. And that's it. So that means right now you have two options. One is you can sign up, you can get involved, and right now you can get started toward achieving that dream lifestyle you've always wanted. Option two is you can come up with some excuse why you can't afford it, why you couldn't do it this time, why you don't have the time, why it won't work for you, because you're too short or too fat, or because you're from this or that city or country, or how big your big toe is a weird shape. All these different excuses. Whatever your excuse is today, that's fine. But the reality is, you can't have both. You can't have results and excuses. You can either have results or excuses, but you have to decide right now which one is right for you. Again, I'm going to go over what you get. It's pretty freaking awesome. There's very few spots left, so hopefully you can still get on this, but I want you to stick around for the Q&A, so don't go anywhere. The first 10 people do get a 20-minute one-on-one session with me personally, which is a $500 value. And actually, those slots are already gone, so congratulations to those people. I will be talking to you very shortly, but get started now for just $497. Sorry. Get started now for just $497. Click the button below or sign up here, thewinggirl.com/go. Okay. That's it. The webinar is over, but go sign up. And if you still have questions, I, of course, am going to be staying on here for a while and answering your questions. So I'm going to go to your questions now. So, yes. Okay, Marni. I think your program will also help men with their businesses, all connected. Yes, 100%. That's very true. This will help in every area of your life. The same position, Stephen. Okay. Oh, sorry, Stephen Johnson. Okay. All right. By using PayPal. Oh no. If it's not using, okay, if PayPal is not coming up for you as an option, write right away to Jen with two N's, JENN at winggirlmethod.com, and I will make sure that you get a slot. So do not worry about that. Hey, does anybody have any questions? I want to answer whatever questions you want me to answer. Feel free to write your questions in the box below and I will answer. And if not, I'm going to bed. What are the signals women give that they want you to approach them? How to not be the creepy guy. Okay. So women are very subtle, as I talked about in the beginning of this webinar. And as you will learn in this program, I'm going to give you a full list of all the signals and what it looks like when a woman is saying to you, I want to be approached. But women are oh, thank you. There's the email address, Jen at winggirlmethod.com. Okay, so the signals are very subtle. So a woman will look over her shoulder and then she'll have a small smile. She won't continue to look back at you with a straight face. If she does do that, that means that she's kind of creeped out by you. But if she's suddenly looking back and smiling and like brushing her hair, I'm doing it as we're speaking right now, but looking softly, I would say, that is a sign that she wants to be approached. And a lot of women are more assertive now, where they'll actually look you directly in the eye and smile at you. Some women will actually signal you over. But the way to not appear creepy is to not be creepy when you go up and approach. So if you have a million thoughts floating around in your head that you're not meant to be going up and approaching her, that's when you're going to becoming creepy. And if you approach using OSA, which I talk about all the time on my podcast, but more specifically in my program, I'm going to teach you exactly how to use it correctly. If you approach using OSA, where you're not approaching a woman and drilling her with question after question after question after question, trying to figure out where and when and what she wants to open up about, and you actually listen to what she's saying and you respond correctly and you have your body language in an awesome way that I'll teach you about, that's when you won't come across as creepy. Creepy men become creepy because they're so trapped in their heads that they're not connecting, they're not paying attention, they're not having a real flowing conversation. That's what labels you as creepy. So you will not be creepy if you do what I say and you learn to use OSA correctly. Okay. I was told to just talk about anything to a woman as long as you talk, and that rejection is a good thing. Rejection is a great thing. Absolutely. The more you get rejected, the stronger you will become because you won't give a shit about being rejected. Okay, so you were told to just talk about anything to a woman as long as you talk. I kind of agree with that, but as long as you're listening as well. So actually, I hope this person isn't on the call tonight, but I had a coaching call this afternoon with someone who, if he were to use his narcissistic tendencies the right way, he actually could have been really, really good with women because he had interesting things to talk about. He talked to me about how he should pack his suitcase. It was interesting. I was engaged. You could tell he was really into it. And not just packing a suitcase that was interesting. But um, but uh but because he didn't actually listen to me when I responded, it made me stop giving him information. It made me stop wanting to listen to what he was saying. So if he could get that balanced, it would have been wonderful. So I absolutely agree with that. That is, as long as you are saying something, or you can talk about anything that you want to, but as long as you're listening, paying attention, and making there be conversation threading, which if you go to thewinggirl.com/go and sign up for my program, I'm going to teach you all about conversation threading and how to do it effectively. We're going to practice it. You're going to try it on me. I'm going to show you how to do it. And I will drill you until you get it correctly so that there's no question about how to have a fluid, flowing conversation with a woman again. Someone was asking about approaching a group of women before. That's what I was wondering as well. How would I approach a group of women, even if I am just interested in one of them? I did a radio interview last night and he asked that exact same question. So I would say, if you want to approach a group of women, I would approach that group with positive body language, which I'll teach you about. Positive body language, a smirk on your face, direct eye contact, no doubt, no circling the group. If you see them looking over at you, you act on it immediately. Go over, you approach the whole group, but you can focus slightly on the one woman that you're interested in. So having a little bit longer eye contact with her, pointing the important words that you're saying towards her in some way, that you're showing, I'm not a douchebag. I'm not just going to come over and talk only to you. I'm going to engage this whole group and keep you guessing about whether or not I'm into you. But you engage the whole group, you make a connection with them, and I'll teach you about how to know when that connection is actually there, so that you can transition from approaching the group to focusing on that one woman. So I would say a couple of minutes of chit chat, and then you say, okay, what are you ladies drinking? I'm going to go to the bar, get you ladies some drinks. Marissa, why don't you help me out? I can't carry 4 drinks or 3 drinks or 2, whatever it is. Come with me and grab a drink. And because you've already been initiating that little bit of flirting while having the conversation with everybody, most often and most likely she will go with you, or she may say, no, I'm fine right here with my friends. And that's a signal to you that all of them aren't interested. And that's okay if that happens, because, as you know, that question before asked about, is rejection okay? Rejection is fine. If these girls reject you, somebody else that you choose to talk to is not going to reject you. There's a better option for a connection out there. But that would be the way that I would approach the group, and I will teach you how to do all of that. So go to thewinggirl.com/go and sign up for my program, which starts in a couple of weeks. And it'll be super fun. Okay, next question. Why do women seem to react to a nice guy that you've described as too nice, or they're not used to it? Why do women seem to react to a nice guy? Paul, I'm not sure what you're asking. As too nice, or they're not used to it. Because, you're talking about being too giving. There are some women who are uncomfortable with kind gestures, and that, has to do with their backgrounds. And some, if I don't want to say that if you're too nice, but there are some times where a lot of guys that I work with are more invested than the woman that they're trying to pursue. And so I typically say, like, I don't want to stop you from being who you are, but I do want you to be more selective with who you give to, either financially give to, your time that you give to. You want to invest in something that is ultimately investing back in you. And so I think going a little bit more slowly, not pulling back, because I don't want you to start playing a game, but just being more careful about what you give and how you give to others. Even if you're like, you're like, I want to give the world to this woman, and she's just like, I don't want to give you anything. Like, you do have to take into consideration that do you really want to give so much to somebody who's not giving back to you? What does that say about you if you're willing to bend over backwards and buy gifts and just do all of this stuff for this woman who really isn't treating you that well? I don't want women to treat you that way, and I don't want you to want to be treated by women that way. I want you to find somebody who's like, "Oh my god, you love giving, so do I. I'm going to give you everything you're going to give me and more." And that's what I want to help you find and realize that, like, if a woman isn't giving up to your standards and it's something you require and value, then maybe that's not the right woman for you, and maybe there's better options out there. But that really starts with understanding what you want and realizing what what you deserve. So hopefully that answers your question. I'm sorry, Paula, if I didn't really answer your question properly, but hopefully it does. Why does it mean that when I do get enough nerve to approach, was lady, she's usually taken? I even check for a ring before the approach. Okay, so why? Okay, so basically you're approaching women who are already taken. So this happens to a lot of guys. So sometimes the girls are lying that they have a boyfriend, and that may be the case. I don't know if that's happening, but most often you approach women who seem more open to being approached. And most women who want to be approached or at least acknowledged for being cute or attractive are taken. They are easier to approach. Most women who are single have larger boundaries up. They don't seem as approachable. I wish they were. I wish they did. I'm working on that with women, but they just aren't. And it's sad and it sucks, but most often you probably approach the women who are easier to approach instead of approaching the women that you want to approach. So I think that's potentially what's happening. Or you're not making a true enough connection with a woman when you're approaching her. You're focusing on a desired outcome. But that's something we can work on together to figure out exactly what's going on. Because just off of that question, I don't have enough information to give a proper answer. But in my program, thewinggirlmethod.com/go, we can work on that together and figure out what's going on and then tweak things so that that doesn't happen to you. Remind me what OSA is. Observe, share, and ask a question. Okay. So observation. So okay, I'll take a step back. So how OSA works is OSA takes away those first 30 seconds of awkward conversation that typically feels like you're trying to sell something, right? Where you're like, "Hi, my name is Bob, and I wanted to ask you a question. Will you donate to," but, like taking away that from what she's hearing, and instead talking to her as if you already know her, as if you're into the conversation already, and as if you don't need permission to engage her in conversation because you don't. You're just simply making an observation. If she doesn't want to have anything to do with you, she can shut you down afterwards. But it's OSA making an observation about the world around you, about what she's wearing, about how you feel, whatever it is. Then you expand on that observation, which gives more information about you. So you share and expand, say the why behind the observation, and then you ask a question. And again, I'll go into more detail about how to use OSA, what OSA is, examples of OSA, how to practice it on a daily basis. And trust me, by the time we're done working on this, it'll be drilled into your head so you'll never forget. Is it possible to recover the girl's attention once you already messed up the conversation? Yes, absolutely. It is. Easy question. If I approach her the wrong way, can I approach her again later? Yes, absolutely. That's the interesting thing. Women, as I said in the beginning, respond with their feelings. For men, it's logical, it's rational, it all makes sense, it's linear, right? For them, it's okay, she wasn't nice, I'm not going to talk to her. Again, not trying to like pigeonhole you into being simple, but I'm trying to say for women, it's different. We react to how we feel about somebody. Okay. So if you have a bad interaction and then you walk away and you come back and you say something that does engage us or excites or piques our interest, we will be engaged that second time around because then that's who you are, right? The first time we saw you, it's not like it's set in stone that that's who you are, unless you did something horrendous and horrible. So I've talked about this before. When I met my lawyer 11 years ago, and I met him for the first time, my friend wanted to set me up with him, and I was excited to meet him. I heard so much about him, and I met him, and I was trying to get to know him. So I was asking questions, and that's what you do when you get to know somebody. Sometimes it's hard if they're not giving you anything back to come up with conversation starters. So sometimes you do lean on, what do you do for a living? Like you lean on stupid questions sometimes just to see where you can get them to open up. And I knew that he was interested in me. So it wasn't that he wasn't interested, but he would not give me an answer. And he thought it was being mysterious and coy and playful, but it literally kept getting me more and more angry that he would not answer a question and like let me see who he was. So all that I had to go off of was that he was an asshole, that he was a horrible person that I did not want to interact with. Granted, 4 years later, when I needed a lawyer, I of course hired him because I knew that he was going to be that aggressive, but as a lawyer, not as somebody who was either going to be sleeping with me or my boyfriend or even, spend my time on. So it is hard to shake that, but I will say this, 7 years after meeting him, he started doing a whole bunch of coaching, a whole bunch of therapy, and realizing this about himself. And now I really enjoy him. He came back, he apologized to me for the way that he behaved in the past. And like, there is a different side. So yes, they can come around, but there are certain things that like really stick out that it is more difficult to bounce back from. But I will say this, it does pique my interest when somebody, especially a guy, acted a certain way the first time I met him and then acts a different way the second time, like a better way the second time I meet him, it makes me pay more attention because something seems off and inconsistent and I want to figure it out. So it does make me pay more attention. So actually I'll go back on my first response that yes, ultimately you can change your opinion all the time. What is a fun way to approach a woman who says she doesn't date? FYI, this particular woman seems to have her guard up because she's an online model and server. Like at the time, you can just say, "Fine, let's not date. Let's hang out." You say, "You call it what you want. We don't have to date, but I'm going to go out with you. I'm gonna flirt with you. I'm going to treat you as if we are on a date. You don't have to call it dating. You just you have to take control over it. You have not squash her fears, but be playful with her fears. Find a new fun way to frame it, but also be very clear on what your intentions are. Say, okay, you have a boyfriend or you're not into dating right now, but just know when we hang out, I'm going to be pursuing you. I'm going to be flirting with you. I'm going to be teasing you. You're going to have a very hard time resisting me, but you hold on to your belief. But I'm going to move forward doing what I want to do. And, you know, if after a while she's still like, I don't want to date you, then you say, okay, well, then you're not for me. You're not being the fun, open, playful person that I'm being. So you're wasting my time and I'm going to go pursue other women. My sister used to tell me, it's from John Donald. My sister used to tell me how no woman wants me. Oh, what a bitch. Every time I want to approach a woman I'm attracted to, I hear her voice and talk myself out of it. I've done it since high school. How do I overcome that? Well, start hearing a different voice. I'm going to give you my voice and I'm going to tell you that women do want you. They are going to want you. And if you want to record that, which it's already on a recording, and just play it to yourself over and over again or write it down on a piece of paper, then that's the new voice that I want you to hear in your head instead of your bitchy sister. Sorry, John, for knocking your sister, but it's true. Um, will work out on a girl. Hold on. I have noticed that men are going into positions such as psychology or talk therapists. How do women view this? Do they question their masculinity? No, those are positions of authority. And even more interesting, they can show that they understand me. Like some pickup artists, they use magic tricks or they use things of intrigue to start a conversation with a woman because those are things that are interesting. Whenever a man can see me on a deeper level, I find it really interesting. If they get too much into therapist mode, then I can't stand it because it just feels like I'm being analyzed and judged all the time. But if I'm talking to a guy who is a therapist, like already I'm on edge because he's a therapist, so I want to present myself right. That's just like naturally where I go to. Um, but if he can be insightful without being too therapist-y and too pushy on like how to change me, I think it can be super sexy. So yeah, I think it's awesome that that would be something I think maybe you would be interested in. Um, oh, good. I'm glad, Paul. Marnie, is it true connecting with women on an emotional level opens more opportunities to connect with her and have a chance of seeing her again? Yes, Jason, it is true. but I don't want you to think that you have to like cry in front of her, open up too much. But there's a balance between being vulnerable and then being emotional with a woman. So I always say, tell a woman what you feel as opposed to showing her what you feel, if that makes sense. So hopefully it does. Um, oh my God. Okay. It's already 7:30. I didn't even realize it was going to go for so long. Okay. One more question and then I'm going to go because my voice is starting. I just need to talk to women. Okay. I just need motivation to get off my butt to talk to women. What's the best motivation? The best motivation is that if you don't talk to women, then you're not going to get what you want. I always say the best way to get what you want is by asking for it. So start asking for it, starting a conversation. For right now, you don't have to have a successful conversation. Just start opening your mouth. And in my program, if you go to thewingirl.com/go, I'm gonna give you better motivations and more motivations, and I'm gonna give you things to say, what to talk about, how to create your own conversations, all of that stuff. So don't worry. I love when people write my name wrong. Mari, 2 questions. I'm not answering your questions if you can't say my name right. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to get off the phone now. I said I would talk until my voice started to go away and it's starting to crack. My throat kills. I'm super dry. But just to finish up, thank you so much for being on this webinar, giving me your time, paying attention to me, staying on this with me for an hour and a half, which is so much of your own personal time. I totally appreciate it and just think that you guys are so awesome that you want to listen to me and that you want to better yourself. I just think it's unbelievable and so motivating for me. And honestly, you're what keeps me going. So I just appreciate you and I just think you're so awesome. And again, I want you to sign up and be a part of this program. I I see that most of the slots are full, but I may open up another one that may start the next month. So if you do sign up and just sign up and then, we'll decide what's going to happen afterwards. But go to thewinggirl.com/go. Again, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And yeah, okay, cool. I will see you guys soon.